Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. So we're gonna be taking a look at two things today: AUDUSD and gold. Alright, I'm gonna try to keep this video as short as possible. Alright, it's just an update. I did not take a trade on gold, but I have been seeing gold sells all week. People didn't want to listen to me. Um, Not saying that I knew exactly what it was going to do, but I did say that buying gold right now is very dangerous. Let me explain, and then I'll show you AUDUSD. So on gold right now, as we know, well, I sold gold last week and I made quite a bit from it. I did see in the trading not live stream that I did earlier this week, I did say I would like to see gold probably climb back up to this area and then drop. It just barely missed that area, right? But it did sell off again, showing my prowess of the directional bias, right? Uh, that is one of the most important things we have to adhere to in the market as traders, which is directional bias. You can have the best sniper entry ever. If you're getting the direction wrong, you will continue to lose trades. I have been saying this for years. Nobody wants to listen to me. We all want to snipe trade. We all want to buy the low. But the problem with that is when you're buying the low and it's not ready to buy, right? Or it hasn't necessarily reversed off of said low, you're going to become a part of the very liquidity that you think you're capturing. Now, let's figure out why I would have been bearish on gold. So first things first, on the daily time frame, as you can see, gold has been bearish since March of this year, right? And I've been saying gold is going to continue to sell because that is what it is doing. It's bearish, right? As you can see, every time gold produces a bull move, it is an induction just to get traders to buy. But in actuality, it is going to continue to sell. So look at what happened. Interestingly enough, the exact same pattern has been happening, right? You have bullish induction, grab your liquidity, and then drop. If you go to some of my other videos on YouTube as well, you will see that is exactly what has been happening, right? So goes, grabs liquidity, and then it drops. Now, that's my directional bias, but we need confirmation of the sell. So how do we do that, right? Now, my entry would have been around somewhere in this area if it did grab liquidity from here and then reject that bull direction. Oh yeah, absolutely, I was selling gold. And if I caught it, that would have been well over about 500 pips in the space of almost 500 pips, sorry, in the space of about a day. But it never presented that opportunity to grab the liquidity from this area. Therefore, I didn't get in. A missed trade is better than a lost trade. Always remember that. All right? It is what it is. I'm not salty about the fact that I missed entering goal, despite the fact that I was right about it, because I prefer to be right and not get it than try to get it and be wrong automatically. Right? This is something that a lot of traders don't understand. They feel like if it is they don't get in, they'll be missing out. I can bet you all the money in my pocket right now, right? That there are people right now trying to now scramble to sell gold. I can bet you that, right? Because now they feel like they're missing out. Now they realize that, oh crap, it really was sells. Let me try and see if I can sell it now. And that is exactly why gold is now coming back just a little bit, because people trying to now fade the move, right? Where it's going to buy a little bit and then continue to sell again, right? Gold has a load that it needs to clear, right? Now, interestingly enough, what I really was interested on gold is this little liquidity here. Why do I consider this a liquidity? Because this is the most recent area price has been in multiple times. One, two, you could say this 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Quite a few times gold has been to this area. And I say this all the time as well. Every time price hits a specific area, instead of it being stronger, it's getting weaker. It's using liquidity from that area that's being grabbed so that it can actually fuel. It's grabbing energy from that area so it can actually fuel the market into going the direction it really wants to go in, right? So I wouldn't buy nor would I sell now because it's way too dangerous to do that now. But I am saying that my directional bias stands with the sell, right? So if you were buying gold anytime this week, this is my opinion on why I think you would have lost or would not have gotten any significant return, right? 70 pips on gold is nothing. So if you think you want to trade with 70 pips on gold, you really didn't win anything, because let's be honest, unless you're a scalper and you 70 pips is like a really big trade for you, 70 pips is nothing on gold because it does that in the Asian session typically. Gold could move 70 pips in Asia, right? Now, let's talk about AU. This is another reason why I did not try to sell gold despite the fact that I thought it was bearish, because I'm still in my sell on AU from 2 days ago, right? This trade is still open as we speak. And as you can see, it is still floating at profit. It just missed my stop loss and profit right at this area. And there's a very specific reason I put my stop loss just above this area, because this is liquidity right here. So it missed my stop loss and is now most likely pushing back into profit. So as we speak, I'm floating at just a little over 195 pips of profit, right? I'm secured at 130 something, which is good. So even if I'm taking out, I'm still fine. But now it looks like it wants to continue to push lower, which is a good thing. The interesting thing about this trade here is because it is open and floating profit, I have zero zeal or zero will, zero need to try to enter another trade. If you have a trade that's moving in your favor, it's doing what you want it to do, and it's winning, why do you need to enter another trade? If you ask me, that's greed. So for me, I am not going to try to enter anything else. I'm just going to let AUDUSD do what it has to do. And obviously, again, if you've been following me for a while, you know that AUDUSD is actually my favorite pair to trade. So I'm literally in my favorite pair to trade. It's a very docile pair. When it does decide to move, it's a very aggressive pair, right? And it's simple to really kind of understand and get the gist of. But as of right now, it looks pretty good to me. And this is just an update of it, but it's literally back in, well, it was always in profit, but it's back in deep profit at just under 200. And I believe that it could break this low, because that's what all of this move here, this entire move, has been inducing traders to buy, thinking that it's buying off of the low, but in actuality, it's not, right? I also had this drawing here where I said that it will start to slow and start to decrease in the bear momentum, pull back to this very area, and then drop again. I'm going to link below in this video the exact time I drew that. I drew that when the market didn't even have all this price action yet. Why did I draw this? I didn't know that was going to happen. But the reason why I drew it is because I have a lot of experience drawing and seeing how these markets work. And this is what made sense to me at the time, right? And so far, it more or less did kind of what I wanted it to do. And I'm happy with that. So that's the update on AUDUSD, and it is also a reason and a breakdown as to why gold would have done what it just did, right? So I'm now floating at just a little under 200 pips on AUDUSD. Let's take a quick look at gold again before we close off this video. So let's see gold, and gold is still doing what it has to do. So guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this one. I hope that it made some sense to you. I hope that if it is you have been buying gold anytime this week, that you understand why it would have done what I think it, in my opinion, why it did what I think it did, right? Because again, I could be wrong, and I'll openly admit this, right? But in my opinion, this is why I think it did what I thought it would do, right? If you like this video, definitely hit like, leave a comment. What did you think? Were you buying gold? Be honest with yourself. Maybe you don't want to comment, but be honest with yourself. Were you buying gold this week? And if yes, leave a comment. Why? Right? Why were you buying gold? What is it that you were seeing? Challenge my belief, challenge my thinking, right? If you like this type of breakdown, you like this type of content, and you want to see me break down more stuff like this, I do talk about my losses. I do talk about my inadequacies as a trader and as a human being. If you like that kind of stuff, you like that kind of transparency, just hit subscribe. You will see more videos from me quite frequently, because I love to do this type of breakdown. Other than that, if you have any questions, you can contact me directly on Telegram, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube at EkataTrading. Right? Or you can email me as well directly at EkataTrading1@gmail.com. Other than that, guys, have a great rest of your week, and maybe even weekend, because I don't think I'll be taking anything else, and you probably wouldn't be seeing any videos from me until maybe next week. Guys, have a great one.